Yeah, so once again, this gonna be about the Kenneka Jenkins situation. People really be trying to, like I said, I feel people be trying to turn something into a mystery when it's not a fucking mystery. Okay, my conclusion is Kenneka Jenkins was high as a bitch, high or drunk or both, and she stumbled and walked her ass into that damn freezer. Period. I know what being high and drunk feels like. I've been in a stupor a few times myself back in yesteryear in my early days, and I can confirm that looked like a legit high and drunk person. Okay? People are trying to turn her death into a mystery. Somebody just left me a comment saying that she had a cut on her and this, that, and the third. She was with a group of niggas and a bunch of black women, black girls. Could she have possibly gotten to a scuffle up in one of those rooms while she was drunk? Sure. Okay? Like, anytime a bunch of black people get together, people start being phony as fuck. You may start getting into fights. I done punched a couple of girls while I was drunk, okay? Okay, so say if that is a thing. Say they was all getting high and drunk. She possibly could have gotten into a scuffle, okay? A scuffle, and then got kicked out, left the room, whatever. But the facts are she still walked her drunk, intoxicated self in that damn freezer. That's all I'm saying. Do drunk people get into scuffles and fights? Of course. Okay? So even if she did get into a little scuffle or fight with some fake ass people up in that hotel, the fact is she walked her ass in that damn freezer, and people do not want to understand that. Let me tell you something about being high on weed and drinking. This happened to me. I think I was like 17, because I used to be a bad girl. I used to be bad. I told you I was with a girl that, I thought was my friend, and I went to her place, and it was two guys there. They was rolling up some weed, and they had some hypnotic. Yes, I used to be that type of bad girl, okay? Anywho. So my dumb ass, I'm up here thinking that I can hang. I'm hitting the weed. And then I took a couple of sips of the hypnotic. Mind you, I'm not even a drinker or a weed smoker at this point. It was just something that I was just doing. I get to laying on the damn couch, right? Next thing you know, it felt like my head was sinking in the couch. Okay? It felt like my head was sinking. I started seeing shit. I got up. It felt like my body was 10 steps ahead of me. I was stumbling to the bathroom, trying to wash my face with some damn cold water. Okay. I could not snap out of it. I started having a panic attack, freaking out. I walked out the door. I was walking down the hall looking crazy. The girl who I thought was my friend, she started chasing me, pulling me and things. And in that moment, I thought she was going to try to fight me, because she was mad at me because I was freaking out. She was like, "What is you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I need help. I need help." I called freaking 911 on myself. Okay. So I had an outer body experience where I walked myself out the hall and was stumbling and looking fucking stupid. But she ended up driving me home. She was pissed off at me. I haven't talked to this bitch since. She thought we was going to be friends after that. Nah, ho. Instead of you hanging in there and hanging with your drunk high friend, I felt like she was going to fight me. So I called 911 on myself. I called my cousin, and my cousin was like, "Calm down. You're just really, really fucking high." But I thought I was going to die. Like, my heart was beating so fast. And then the ambulance came and got me, put me on a gurney. I'm screaming, yelling, went to the hospital, things like that. So that's why I can look at that girl, Kenneka, and I can tell she was legit probably high and drunk. And she's underage. People don't get this. When you ask some random kickback as a young person, your discernment really isn't there. You just doing what everybody else doing. She probably, like I said, and considering the type of people she was hanging with, you already know how hanging with black girls are. You hanging with them, and next thing you know, one of these hoes probably want to beat you up, fight you, things like that. Now, if she had a couple of marks on her, she could have possibly got into a scuffle prior to getting in the hallway and stumbling. But I'm telling you that stumbling and how she was acting is because she was drunk and high. I have passed out on toilet seats before being drunk. I'm talking, I'm on my knees, like laying on a freaking toilet drunk, just sleep, knock the fuck out. Like I'm telling you. So if you don't know how to tolerate that type of substance, you're going to be looking like Kenneka Jenkins. Nobody dragged her to that freaking freezer and killed her. She walked herself there because she was high and drunk. Period. Like I said, when you are high and drunk, you are looking for the nearest, you're looking for air, number one, because you feel like air is probably gonna, you're probably struggling to breathe, so you need air, and a freezer is a perfect place to get that. She wasn't laid out she was in a freezer. She found something cool to try to, calm her body down probably. Nobody put her in that freezer. She walked herself in that freezer because she was so high and drunk. That's it. That is just nothing else to it. Could a fight have happened prior to her getting in the freezer? Sure. But she walked herself into that freezer because she was high and drunk. Listen, if you high and drunk, you're panicking, you walking crazy. Y'all act like y'all don't know that. I can't believe black people of all people are acting suspicious when they get high and drunk all the time. You don't know that? You don't know that's how people look and act? And if her friends was acting funny, phony, and kicked her out the room, she probably was stumbling. Maybe they got mad at her because how she was acting and said, bitch, get the fuck out. You know how people are. And she started walking around looking crazy. And hey, she's in the kitchen somewhere in the freezer. And sat down. Because like I said, when you're that drunk or high, yes, you do pass out. You pass out, you lay out. You may lay on the couch, the bed, the toilet, the floor, the ground. She found herself in the freezer. And it was probably to try to cool her body off, but she just stayed a little bit longer than what she needed to stay. Stop making this something that is not. It's no mystery. Let that girl rest in peace. She was hanging with the wrong crowd. She got high and drunk, didn't realize what it would do to her. She didn't have the tolerance for that. Underage partying, drinking, smoking. Probably potentially could have got beat up in the room by her friends. She got kicked out possibly. But at the end of the day, she stumbled and walked her ass into that freezer herself, trying to cool off, trying to gain her clarity back.